Some more original plans for Damage Control just came out, so we'll see what that's about. We'll also check out what's going on with Dominik, Rey Mysterio, and more. Let's start things off with some of the original plans for Bayley's Damage Control faction. Damage Control made their debut together at SummerSlam 2022. It was a big moment because Bayley had just finished missing right around a year of action from a torn ACL. Then you had IYO SKY, who was rumored to be on her way out of WWE and being done with the company. And last but not least, you had Dakota Kai, who was legitimately released from WWE just a few months back. So, to see Bayley make her big return along with two other women, who many fans assumed were done with WWE, was quite the surprising moment for the group's first appearance. The big debate online amongst the fans over the last few weeks is the topic of, was Damage Control a success or not? That's something that fans have been going back and forth about for a long time. But Bayley recently spoke with BT Sport and shared her original vision for the faction and how long she had been planning for it. Bayley had this to say on the group's original members, quote, "That is something that I've thought about for a couple of years before it actually happened. I know Dakota has talked about this in her interviews in the past. It had a different group of people as the time went on. Peyton Royce was someone that I really wanted in there. Teagan was someone that I wanted in there. There were a lot of people that it just kind of changed throughout time, and as people left the company and things like that. But Dakota was always, she's one of the OGs that I've always envisioned in the group," end quote. Bayley also mentioned how the name of the group was another long process from a creative perspective. She had this to say about the original name of the group, quote, "I had a few different ideas. We threw out a million different names. Creative came back with a million different names too, and we just couldn't get on the same page. Then you also have to go through legal and all this stuff. My first original one, I wanted it to be called The Now. To me, it was that I didn't care about the championships I won in the past. I don't care about what happens next, like these girls right here, and what we're about to do. The present is all that matters. The Now was my first idea, but there's a show called The Now, or something like that. You know, it's just legal stuff," end quote. So it's interesting to know that Damage Control was a last-second thing that was thrown together without any preparation. It was an idea that's been in Bayley's mind for several years. She had Peyton Royce and Teagan penciled in her head to be a part of this group. Even Bayley's name for this group was great, The Now. All the faction members, past or future, didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the present and what they were going to do in current day. It never happened because Vince McMahon was not reportedly on board with the faction idea from Bayley. But she finally did get her faction wish with Damage Control in 2022, which is a version of what she always wanted for a very long time. Bayley also spoke about Mercedes Mone in the same interview and had this to say on if she believes Mercedes would return to WWE one day. Quote, "I'll never give up hope that she'll come back. I'll say yes because this is her home. This is her dream. I love to see what she's doing and what she's going to be doing over the next few months. She's going to literally take over the world, take the world by storm. But I know this is her home and where her heart is. And by my heart, I mean me. She needs to come back to me. I need her. I need my travel partner," end quote. So Bayley's hoping to have another reunion with the meeting of Mercedes down the line in WWE. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening deep into the future. The recent February 24th edition of SmackDown was a pretty busy episode for Dominik Mysterio. Dominik made an appearance during Rey Mysterio's backstage interview. Santos Escobar was praising Rey Mysterio and showing him respect, but Dominik interrupted and was fully against his father getting any of that respect. Then Dominik appeared later on in the night to confront Charlotte Flair on behalf of Rhea Ripley. Dominik went back and forth with Charlotte Flair until Rhea Ripley had to come out to protect him. The night still wasn't over for Dominik Mysterio. He would once again make an appearance while Rey Mysterio was battling Karrion Kross. Dominik once again stepped into the ring and got in Rey Mysterio's face. Dominik kept trying to push his father to the limit and get Rey to strike him. But Rey is still in the same sort of mental state we saw him in late 2022, when Dominik's heel turn first happened. No matter how much Dominik tempted him back then, Rey Mysterio just couldn't bring himself to put his hands on Dominik. That entire narrative is obviously what led to Rey meeting with Triple H and getting a transfer over to SmackDown to get away from Dominik on Raw. But with WrestleMania season being in full gear, and some superstars now appearing on both shows, Rey Mysterio can't hide from Dominik because Dominik is the one that's coming over to SmackDown. So this moment in the ring between Rey and Dominik was similar to those from the past. Dominik is practically begging for Rey Mysterio to hit him, but Rey refuses to. It did look like Rey at least considered it. He did make a fist, but ultimately did nothing. So Rey may still be against hitting him, but progress is still being made there. Rey Mysterio is starting to make his way to that breaking point with Dominik. Rey and Dominik are rumored to be meeting in the ring soon, possibly even at WrestleMania. So the February 24th edition of SmackDown could have been the beginning of their story starting back up. Maybe there will be that big payoff moment there where Rey Mysterio actually lands a punch on Dominik. The fans will go crazy for that, since we've been waiting for that moment for a long time. So if we do see Rey throw a punch at Dominik and this match gets confirmed, it's definitely going to be a huge father-son match on the grand stage of WrestleMania. And all the seeds are in place for that match. Dominik betrayed his father, tortured him on Raw for weeks, ruined his father's holidays, even attacked his father at the Royal Rumble. So it's a long time coming, and the seeds have been there for months. So Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio would be a great payoff for everything that we've seen. Also, in Dominik-related news, Dominik Mysterio and Rhea Ripley's WWE on-screen characters definitely appear to be starting a romantic relationship. But in reality, Dominik is engaged, and Rhea Ripley is dating former WWE superstar Buddy Matthews as well. Dominik Mysterio recently spoke with Sportskeeda and addressed his on-screen pairing with Rhea, as well as Buddy Matthews. Dominik had this to say about him, quote, "Yeah, well, he kissed my sister, so I don't know. We might have some problems there, family dynamic-wise. But overall, I think my dynamic with Mammy works both ends, on my side and on her side. When we're at TV, it just works out for us," end quote. And Dominik brings up a funny point. Buddy Matthews did work closely with the Mysterios and had an on-screen pairing with Dominik's sister, Aaliyah, during the Thunderdome days. But the pairing of Rhea Ripley and Dominik has been amazing so far, and hopefully has even more great moments on the way. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.